said when I said what I said on Twitter, I try to provoke him. He don't like when people call him bitches. What I call him, a bitch. Provoke him to do something. My person, like I'm a saint. I don't do nothing wrong. If you gonna be somebody like do your little dirt and think nobody gonna get back to it.
Amid the chaos surrounding him, Gervonta Davis has decided to address his split with longtime trainer Calvin Ford and explain why Ford will not be in his corner for the upcoming fight against Jake Paul. Davis said that their issues began when Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis allowed the media to get into their heads.
The position that he's in is to wake the youth up because they have so much to give, but something and all the distraction is taking them away from it. And if you look at his last interview, he said, I really want to get away from it. I'm trying to get what I got to get and get away from it.
They came to me earlier this year and said I don't pay them as well as other fighters pay their trainers, Davis explained. That was them letting the outside noise get into their ears. He claimed that they walked away before the Lamont Roach fight because he refused to raise their pay. According to Davis, his relationship with Calvin Ford is like that of a father and son. I don't just pay Calvin when there's a fight, he said. I give him money all the time, I help with his bills, buy him cars, houses, whatever he wants. It's a father and son kind of relationship.
I just saying, but that's another thing. Calvin is someone that he's like, when I ain't had no pops, Calvin was the person that you feel me, stepped in them shoes. So no matter if he's not my coach, anything like that, he's always gonna be in my life.
Davis added that Calvin Ford tried to return for the Lamont Roach fight when preparations were nearly finished, but he refused to let him back in since Ford had been absent throughout camp. That incident where I yelled at him in the ring, it was because he wasn't in my camp, and I didn't want him saying anything if he didn't train me, Davis explained. Despite Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis later trying to withdraw their claims about Davis not paying them, Tank said the damage had already been done and that he was no longer willing to continue working with them.
That's why I don't do interviews anymore, because they always take my word and misconstrue it. You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about individuals, we wasn't talking about nobody specific, and we wasn't talking about Tank. Tank's my baby. Tank, Kenny said, out of 100, 2 of them love you. That's one of them that do love you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing.
Rumors spread that Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's longtime trainer, had not been paid for his work. However, Ford refuted those claims in an interview with the Rise podcast, saying, I'm not going anywhere. I love my job, and I love who I work for. His statements contradicted the reports of a professional split between the two, suggesting that Ford may still be part of Davis's team, though he avoided discussing any financial details.
I had to train Tank when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together. I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
In the same vein, other members of Davis's team have also denied any claims of conflict and declined to share details about the financial situation between the boxer and his trainer. Kenny Ellis was more direct, openly stating that he wanted to put an end to the rumors about unpaid dues. Stop this narrative about Tank not paying me and Calvin, Ellis said. Every single time I've worked a corner with Tank, he's taken care of me, and he's going to continue to take care of me. Tank is family for life.
And a fighter. We don't know where this stuff is coming from. It wasn't no reunited. They never separated. You know.
I guess it's because of Tank's comment, because he was asked if Coach Calvin was in his corner. He said, "We'll see."
Right, because it's nobody's business. But you know, he didn't mean anything by that. You know.
Facts. There you go.
They forever family.
Because you pulled up with just somebody else. You didn't even pull up with your team. You pulled up with. We ain't see Calvin. Yeah.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
I think he came a little late though. I spoke to him.
Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right, because
I just seen Calvin too.
In Baltimore, we don't count another man's pockets, Ellis continued. I don't care if he's a billionaire, I'm not counting his money. But Tank has always taken care of us, and he's going to keep doing that. So y'all need to stop that narrative.
Hey Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
Hey, you Tank? Huh?
Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see.
While Ellis made it clear that Davis has always paid him for working his fights, his comments still left some uncertainty about whether Davis compensates him fairly during training camps and off-season sessions when no fight is scheduled. This latest controversy comes just months after Gervonta Davis entered training camp for a fight without Calvin Ford. Despite the team's efforts to downplay the situation, it's now evident that underlying tensions have been brewing since the start of the year.
I don't want. He's a grown man, and he has the right to make the grown man decisions that he wants. So let's get that. Put that up. Everybody's snatching something and don't even have a clue. And that's what I was saying about social media. You know what I'm saying? If you don't hear a person say it out their mouth, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't.
What's going on with the Tank? What's going on with Tank? And are we going to see? And when are we going to see him back?
They got a little legal issue. As soon as they get through the courts, they'll set a date, and all we can do is wait. I don't get into that side. You know what I mean? I'm just there when they need.
This appears to be the result of long-standing, unspoken misunderstandings that have been developing within Davis's camp since the build-up to the Lamont Roach fight.
Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean? I don't know.
The tension first began when Calvin Ford decided to step away from Tank and focus more on his younger fighters. There were several reasons behind that decision, and it's almost common knowledge among boxing fans that Tank hasn't always been known for paying his trainers generously, although Calvin Ford repeatedly denied those claims, often defending Tank by saying they share a father and son relationship, meaning he receives whatever he asks for rather than a fixed salary. Ford eventually grew tired of Tank's behavior and distanced himself from his corner. The issue was clear: Ford wasn't happy with Tank, so he began avoiding his training camps, while Tank, in turn, wasn't willing to listen or understand his mentor's frustrations.
Hey Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Come on, you Tank.
Huh?
Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see.
What do you think about the guy yelling in the back? Did that kind of get your juice?
There was no outright argument, but it was obvious that things were no longer the same between them. The tension came to a head on fight night, marking the beginning of a real rift that ultimately led to their split. Gervonta Davis reportedly ignored Calvin Ford's advice because Ford had been absent during the fight's build-up.
And he know when I go spend time with my piece, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't do. It's something that we normally do.
Davis reportedly felt that Calvin Ford was in no position to tell him what to do since Ford hadn't made the effort to join his training camp. The incident took place during one of the later rounds of the fight when Coach Calvin advised Davis to be more cautious. In response, Davis shouted, "Calvin, calm down and listen to me." A moment that many in the boxing community viewed as disrespectful.
Hey, come on now. He's trying to get it. There you go. There you go. That's what you do. There you go. Stay good. Stay focused. That was a good round. You got me? Turn up now. I want all three of these.
Fans were quick to react online. One commented, "I pity that man so much. Tank is so disrespectful and rude, he really can't do much without Calvin." Another fan tried to put himself in Davis's shoes, saying, "If I had someone like Calvin Ford do for me what he did for Tank, I'd be forever grateful. He'd never lack anything in his life." Others were harsher in their criticism. One wrote, "Tank is so wicked. I really couldn't be cool with someone like that. He's an ingrate, despite everything Calvin did for him." Then he goes around calling Calvin his dad.
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so, it's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
Before their split became public, the official story was that Coach Calvin Ford was merely taking a step back, while the overall training structure remained unchanged. Reporters at the time clarified that they weren't implying a breakup or any serious falling out between Ford and Gervonta Davis.
This question is for Coach Calvin Ford. This is Matt from Brunch Boxing. Now, we know that Tank has talked in the past about retiring, leaving the game of boxing. As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised him.
When asked whether the temporary separation might have strengthened their bond, similar to how family members sometimes grow closer after spending time apart, Coach Ford responded, "No, he came to see me down, slowed up, and worrying about me because, boom, he knows I spend time with my amateurs. You know me, both of y'all know me very well. I spend time with my amateurs all the time. That's my piece." Even though Ford wasn't directly training Tank during that period, simply knowing that Davis was still working and staying disciplined gave him a sense of reassurance.
After tonight,
I like to see Tank to do what he want to do. I said at the last press conference. Y'all got to understand, them guys been doing this since they were little. This might energize them again.
Oh, yeah. In fact, he backstage right now talking about he want a rematch.
Mac, no, backstage, you want to go to the gym.
Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Come on, you Tank. Huh? Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see. That's right.
What do you think about the guys yelling in the back? Did that kind of get